Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Right. This is going to be hardcore, like I usually try to make it. Get my own mail. That's pretty bad. All right. Sorry for the inconvenience. I got to figure out a better way to send this link to everybody before I start the show. So give me a little time. I'll get used to it. I'll get it running right. All right. The title for today: what do you truly desire? I mean, if you ever watched the movie, TV show, Lucifer, he always asks these people, what do you desire? So I'm asking you, what do you truly desire? Think about it. If you ever got it, then what? So keep that in your mind. Keep it like somewhere in this thing called the head. What you really desire in life. What do you desire to get out of life? It's important. I mean, people have lots of ideas and thoughts, and they want to be this, they want to attain their mission. You create your mission every second of your life. You either move forward in it or you move backwards in it. But where you want to go, where you want to end up, is up to you. I mean, sure, your effect of the physical world, what happens in the physical reality by government and in countries and things like that. But you still have the chance to do and try and be whatever you want. All right, I'm going to do reverse talking today. Reverse meaning the opposite of what I usually talk about or the way I talk about it. I very seldom do this, but I'll start off the way I would normally talk. Yes, the earth is in trouble. The air, the water, the food, and even the ground we walk on is contaminated. All right, there are many things causing it. Government, people, nature, the sun, aliens. All right. But I'm going to split the attention on that. As we move along, I'm going to get into reality and what's happening and how I feel we can do something about it in some way, somehow. All right. Something that's growing around the planet, every country, every state, every city, almost all people. The word is called depression. Now, if you know what depression is or ever been in it, it's a hard thing to get out of. Do you ever really get out of it, or do you hide from it? Well, we're going to talk about it today. I'm bad with names and things like that, but a state just had 3 policemen kill themselves within 3 weeks a couple of days ago. It was just on the news. Suicide becoming pretty rapid. Now they just passed a bill in Maine, assisted suicide. People are so desperate, they want to leave. Sure, they're going to make them have a serious sickness and problems. But, you know, they could be doing that to all the murderers and things like that have a life sentence. Why should we pay for the rest of their life, their meals, their air conditioning, their sports, their TV? Why? Because man is compassionate. Oh, we got to treat them like everybody else. Really? They killed your son and your daughter and your husband. Let's see how fast you're going to want to feed them and take care of them. You know, when a shoe's on the other foot, the old saying, it's different. But here's the thing. The prison system is so screwed up and so wrong. They treat the wrong people right, and they treat the right people wrong. Which I mean the poor people and lower middle class people. All right. 2 years ago in South Dakota, on the reservation, 250 children died within about a year. Hold that thought, please. Sorry. Hello? Hello? I'm in the middle of a show, but what? Oh, I'm on public radio. This isn't right. Totally. 0492. Did you get it? 0492. Sorry, problems like always. Never can get a day without somebody interrupting. It's amazing. The second I do my show, something has to happen to interfere with it. Well, that's called reverse thinking. Know that something's going to happen and work from there. Well, I guess I'm going to have to. Well, these children had committed suicide over the year and a half. Nothing said about it. Nobody even knew about it. I mean, I was dealing with elders that came to Hawaii. But the problem is growing. It's not just a reservation. It's people that work, people that have a hardcore job, meaning a doctor, a lawyer. And it's trying to deal with life. I'm talking about the way people perceive the way they live life, what they want to get out of it, and how they live it. But see, that's all interfered by. I just talked to somebody from another country, and it's crazy in other countries, even in Spain and all the countries around it. They're having a hard time dealing with life. If you're watching world news, you'll see the wars and things that are happening inside the countries. Why? Governments are losing control because they're trying to keep control over things that they shouldn't be. And then you got negative factor. Lucifer's army, whatever you want to call it, devils, demons, and aliens, for another word. All right, they keep telling you everything's going to get better. Aliens are here to help us. Brainwashing society to accept some stupid idea like that. And oh, I work with them. Oh, I met them. And I this and I that and everything else about it. I use complete moron people. Listening to these stories and you feed them money to pay for it. And nobody pays me 2 cents for what I say. And I'm telling you the closest to the truth you're ever going to hear on this planet from anyone. So you'd rather pay this fool person. Oh, I was on Venus and I ate popcorn every day and I had all these women around me. I mean, you can hear stories of every kind: sex, food, space, government weapons, and aliens operating and all that. So where do you want to go with the stories you hear? Do you really think they're going to come and help you? Any of the stories? Oh, we're going to be traveling through space. How many people are going to take off of planet Earth to travel through space? Where are they going to put them? And what do you think you're going to do when you get there? What purpose would you have on that planet when you got zero purpose on this planet? Oh, no, I got an important job. And what's that? Going to McDonald's, Burger King? Oh, I'm a plumber. I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. Well, lawyers are probably the most evil job on the planet because they get bad people off. And people know they're bad people and they still get them off. Imagine what they do when they die. They have no clue. They don't have no God. They don't have no belief system. Everybody has the right to a lawyer. Yeah, but if you're guilty, what? Let's give them a lawyer to get them off. So, the system is gone. So with all that going on, how do you work with all these people? You don't. I'm just looking at reality. You have to realize I talk about the truth that I experienced, went through, know, and proven to myself, and I know is the facts. The world is dying. The people are losing it at every level. All right. The races came and went over thousands of years. Aliens were here a long time ago. They're still here. But what did they do for planet Earth? Nothing. Don't tell me they helped us in any way, because they did not. Did they make us worse? No. I mean, in the very beginning, when Atlantis went down, we'll get into that. But yes, we started at one point of becoming mass killers. All right. At that point, we changed. But not physically, not mentally, just put a little program in our brain, which all it is a computer for programs from other people. All right. Are you looking at the destruction that's happening to the planet daily, weekly, monthly, yearly? It was not the Anunnaki that made anything better or really going to help us in any time in the future. All right. There was 4 races that stayed here and that we'll be talking about right now. red, black, yellow, and white, which are still here, which are still active and trying to survive on this planet. All right. They each were from a different world. They weren't from the same seed. Could you imagine that? Why aren't we having super other colored beings or entities or races coming into this world right now? Sure, you can mix black and white and red and yellow and all together. You're going to end up with one. That's for sure. But it started out 4 different races from 4 different universes or realms or planets, whatever words fit your reality or your understanding of it. Please open your mind. Alien technology is all our government cares about. They don't care about what they eat, what they like, what they don't like, what they want to do, what they don't want to do. Just you give us this and do what you want. Because they can't stop them from doing what they want. And it started the year I was born that I know of, when a fleet of ships went over the White House a couple times in 1 week. The president got really worried, and the army did, everybody did. But they couldn't do a thing about it. Oh no, please, it wasn't Russia, and it wasn't China, and it wasn't Germany. If you look at their technology of their spaceships they were trying to build and the things, yeah, they look like a spaceship, but that's all they were. They didn't move like a spaceship. They didn't travel in the speeds that a spaceship can. So you want to believe all the twisted stories that Hitler and Khrushchev and all them were working on high technology? One was a demon worshiper, and he had problems, and he's going to serve it out as well when he left his body. So let's get real here. Do you know what real means? No, you're programmed to believe the illusion. Karma of this planet is the same as karma that you have. Karma of a city, a country. It's all different levels of karma that you have to deal with on top of your own. If you live in the desert, that's the karma you're going to deal with. You live in a city, that's the karma you're going to deal with. I just got a text from a person that I liked. Okay. All right. Just someone to call in. No, I don't want to do that. All right. So what do you think is going on in this planet today? Technology has nothing to do with spirituality. Technology has nothing to do with spirituality. You may think so, may want to believe it, may hope so, and hope science figures a way to link science with technology. You know, all that would mean mankind would try and is trying to create a God. Let's erase God from the whole picture and then create a God and put it back into the picture. You'll see. You'll see what the government's doing, what science and technology is rebuilding, what alien races worked with the government and what they fed them, the programs they gave them. Tesla was the biggest problem to the human race. He worked with an alien race, and this will be the effect of the planet in the near future. And I'm not talking about free energy. I'm talking about an earthquake machine, the doomsday weapon, the HARP system, time travel, all those things. One man created it out of his brain. Einstein was not that smart. He worked with an alien race too, whether you want to believe it or not. He stole a lot of stuff from Russia. He stole a lot of stuff from other countries as well. And he didn't have all that knowledge. His knowledge was wrong. The aliens he worked with weren't giving him any good information. I mean, he taught that we can go forward in time and not backwards in time, or backwards in time and not forwards in time, one of them or the other. He taught we can't go faster than the speed of light. He said a lot of things, and he was wrong about all of them. And he will be wrong about most of it. Tesla, on the other hand, proven and made the artifacts and documents that created the things that proved the thoughts and ideas that he had. So there's a big difference between the two. But then again, Tesla wasn't that smart. Check out his schooling. Check how he lived. Check how he died. 10 years in a hotel room? Completely crazy. We're in a sad place because of what we believe and what we accept. Science is going to make everything better. People keep saying that. Oh, everything's better. We were cavemen in it. No, we were never cavemen. The human race were never cavemen. You want to believe that? Believe the fairy godmother. We were of other races. You can live without technology. We don't need it. We don't need medicine, not physical medicine made by twisted scientists and doctors. Earth supplies the cure for every disease and sickness a person gets if you don't destroy both the pattern of nature, the pattern of plants, the pattern of a way a person lives. Our immune system was capable of destroying anything that came inside it. God's not stupid. God was never stupid. God is the most incredible being that has ever been in all realms, all dimensions, and all realities. But the lower gods have fun with the human race, the deities, and the aliens also have as well. So let's keep going here, all right? I hope you're following. I go in circles a little, but I try to bring it back to where we need to go, all right? The idea that suicide's taken over a big percentage of people now. We're going to go into that a little bit more a little bit later, but let's sidestep. I want to go into a few people that the world respect. The Pope. Why? I don't care if you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever you are. The Pope, you know, at the last Pope's funeral, they had the biggest march of people in history. All kinds of religions. Why? He was a good man. What did he do? Preach what? Peace? Are we in peace at any level? All right. He's destroying everything about his own religion. He said there is no hell, which we're in. He said Adam and Eve is a fake story, which it partially or mostly was. The 10 Commandments are being changed because he doesn't like the way they are. Now, today, he said by higher order, there are more than one God. What kind of mental moron? Because he doesn't know God. He can't prove it in any way that he has an understanding of God. He'll tell you over and over, love is the answer, and God loves us all. Why do you think God would love a murderer, a rapist, or any of those kind of people? Because he has to. Who made that idea? Who created that idea? Who said it in the Bible? Moses was the most evil black magician to live in history. Oh, I feel sorry about. No, I don't. He probably killed more children or had more children killed than any other person as well. Killed more people as well. Brought people to places where they killed more people. Does that sound like a holy man? Sounds like a black magician to me. All right. People respect God. But they don't. Not no more. They don't know what God is. They have a perceived idea that it loves everything and it will protect. Protection of what? How can you say God protects you? Well, well, I almost had an accident. Then you did. Then you almost had a house burned down. Oh, it did. Oh, you almost had your child killed. Oh, he did. The protection is in your mind. No, the protection is in soul. What it is, it's allowed to live forever. It's allowed to stay in hell, and it's allowed to get out. And you make the choice. You make the decision every day. Creating karma, paying karma off, working on spiritual truth. And nobody in the UFO world is talking about it. Not one alien race. Oh, you're not in here, in your inner, in your higher self, your spiritual being. And no, you're not. You're exactly what you are, is that soul that you are. Your understanding of what? Nothing. God, spirit, death, birth, reincarnation. What you understand is your awareness. Sure, the mind doesn't have to accept it because the mind is a program. I mean, the computer that runs the programs that get stuck in your brain. I can't say how many times I say that over and over. Your brain is not you. I know I'll debate Buddhists, Christians, any religion. Consciousness is not what we are. You could believe the consciousness we create as an energy, but it's not us. You throw energy into a creation like a ghost walking around. Are they part of the consciousness? They don't even know what they're doing. And you want that part of your consciousness? Consciousness is something that has an awareness. If you have no awareness, how can you be part of a consciousness? Well, I'm aware of what? Nothing. Planet Earth? One little seed in this gigantic garden of beautiful galaxies and universes? How can you say that? Well, this program said that. Oh no, this program. Well, these two programs go together and they fit like a puzzle. You know, mankind is so ignorant, so stupid. It's amazing we didn't boil ourselves alive or blow up the planet. We're playing with radioactive materials. We're playing with nuclear reactors, nuclear weapons, nuclear power. And the chemical weapons that the government has are the most dangerous as well. But they don't talk about them. Why should they? Oh, we want disclosure on government weapons. No, you can't get it. If you try to expose that, you should be a terrorist and go to jail. Because what our government has is what protects us from Russia, China, Germany, and all the other countries. Tell them everything we got. You're playing chess. Well, I'm going to move and try to take out your king. Tell them what you're going to do before you do it. How far do you think you're going to get? George Washington had his headquarters in New York City, in Harlem, before it was Harlem. He had it so he could see the Hudson River and the East River, so he could watch any boats coming into the harbor. He set his headquarters there. There was a lot of people killed there. I did ghost busting there when I was 16 years old. He had a daughter, Madame Jumel, his illegitimate daughter. She married Samuel Jumel. She ran to France and worked with Napoleon for a while until she got thrown out of the country or she would have been killed. So you have to realize where it all started. Now, we got a lot of stories of people in Jersey because Aaron Burr and Hamilton had this famous duel there. One killed the other one hung out in this Jumel mansion until he died. And his spirit was one of the spirits that stayed there for a long time. Why am I going this way? Because we have to look at history when we think it's created the way we want it. It was people killing people, always. That's not how you build a spiritual city. That's not how you build a religious city. All right. Let's move on to another person, the Dalai Lama. My partner is a Buddhist. It's hard for me to agree because they don't believe in a solid, real God. All right. And I mean solid, not a person or a being that we can perceive as normal because it's anything but. But he wants to create compassion and love and peace. He says children are going to make the world better. Children are screwing up at every level. Sure, there's a good child here who wants to do this, but why isn't anything happening? Because these other children are already being pulled into drugs, sex, power, money, perverted, twisted computer realities. All right, let's move on to another person, Eckhart Tolle, spreading the same idea of living in the moment. You cannot live in any other moment. You can think of another moment, but you can't live in it. No matter what you're thinking. I don't know how these people think because they believe what he says. And like somebody like Oprah that claims she has no karma and no ego. Imagine that. And then the word he uses, the power of now. The power. We're all superpower beings. We watch too many space movies or super angels, super deities, super beings, superheroes, all those kind of words. I guess we believe we become them. Seriously, come on. Put your thinking hats on or take them off that aren't working. One has consciousness? A person that has no clue to death or reincarnation? He has no clue to death. And I heard him say it multiple times. He said it in front of Oprah because she asked him, well, what about death? Well, my mother and father died. Okay. So you know about death? Of course not. Man, everything's going off here. All right. Never mind any kind of a God, because there's no clue there for him. And he's living in the be the best you can, be this, be that, be all the other things, along with another person, Deepak Chopra. He claims that most illnesses are due to stress, sleep, lack of exercise. Man's creating it. Well, let's add in food, air, water, all contaminated, government control, how you have to live. But he says your body dies every few days. Your cells keep dying. But soul that runs the body stays the same, which he can't talk about. He talks about death. All right. Eternal awareness. But the seed of your awareness. No, soul is called that. And soul is what you are. And you retain that. Not this group of in a flower pot where all the seeds get thrown in. You're separate. You grow into your own tree. You don't grow into all the other trees. But you don't have to grow there either. You take yourself out of that pot and move on. It's time to let go of the program idea of where you have to be and what you have to be. No one on earth talks about a real God. People that talk about talking to God, conversations with God, people like that. Really? God said love is the answer. Love is the answer to what? Delusional fairy tale land? Make-believe land? Happy land? Drug land? Love is not the answer for anything in this physical reality. Relationships are deteriorating. The idea of a love and bond is deteriorating. Even marriage is deteriorating. Commitment and all those kind of words, deteriorating. I call them the passions of the mind are creating the problems, but morals of society have been removed. There are no morals. If you believe there's morals, we'd have foundations to rules and regulations, which there are none, except the rules the government creates for us. Like when they decide it's all right for people to smoke marijuana, when they decide it's all right for people to drink and do drugs and everything else, what they perceive is right. When they feel it's right, and when they feel it's wrong, they take it away. Abortion rights. Now, any man, any stupid, ignorant fool man, thinking they have the right to tell a woman to do anything is ignorant as it comes. I mean, it took me a long time to even understand that or learn it truly, but that's reality. And since man, since the beginning of time, was always abusing, raping, and killing women and children, they still think they have that right. But it's a wrong belief system. Women have every right to do whatever they want with their body, especially some ignorant moron, perverted, twisted man rapes or abuses a woman. And a woman has to suffer because that? Because the man's ego, what? And then you have to go on. If people don't have a spiritual belief, they have no understanding of soul and birth and death. And when soul steps into a body, when soul steps out of a body, they're ignorant to those facts. Well, sure, they can measure a soul leaving a body. Can they measure when soul comes into the body? Or do they even have a clue? Do they want to know? Do they want to know when a child becomes real inside the mother's womb? Oh, it's breathing, but it's still part of the system that's pumping blood through it. When you cut that umbilical cord, it cuts that connection. So, people aren't aware of anything. Well, if you're so strung out on birth control and life, no man should be allowed to do something and dispose of his sperm without using it or make it grow and try to let it live. That's just what? It doesn't have what? You ever look at an embryo of a baby and a chicken? They're the same in the womb, in the beginning. Creatures all kind of look the same. So how do you know when it's a human even? When it has this, that, and the other thing. But that's later down the road. So, I mean, the idea of doing things afterwards, I'm against. I'm going to say, look, you can't have an abortion at 8 months, 9 months. So what are you, so mentally disturbed that you can't do it way before that? I mean, sure, if the government's stopping you and everything else, there's reasons for that to happen. But a rapist having any right to see the child and all, man, some rapist could go out and rape 100 women. Now he has the right to see all those 100 women and their children? Is man that pathetic in their people that pathetic in their thinking? Yes, they are. Moses created 613 laws. All ridiculous laws mankind can't live by. And the Jewish religion decides to say they live by them. The Hasidic Jewish people do. Not really, they don't. I'm not going to get into that, but I mean, I watched them inside a bookstore going through the porn magazines and just standing there for an hour. I mean, he's supposed to be this religious rabbi or whatever. So, mankind wants us to see this picture of what we're supposed to be, but they don't want to show what's going inside. Back to that word, suicide. Let's go to the other word, depression. What causes it? Why is it there? Well, mankind searches so hard to find a relationship that works, to find a woman or man, both or this, that, who knows anymore, right? They have to change their sex first before they get married, whatever they're doing. And that's all accepted because there's no knowledge of truth, no knowledge of birth of life and soul, what it really was, how it got here. I mean, if people believed gayness, mankind would have never multiplied to anything. Wouldn't that been nice for the people that are saying we're overpopulated? I'm not going to go into that anymore, but morals are gone. Belief systems are programmed and twisted. And the idea of life is another sick program. Why are you here? To find your mission. You don't have missions. You're not here to build a butterfly catcher. You're not here to catch or build a rat trap. You're here to find out what you are as a soul. What is a soul? Well, hopefully you'll learn what it is somewhere in the near future, because that's what you are, and you have to. So the fear is usually based out of lack of knowledge. And that lack of knowledge is usually fear of death. Because nobody can talk about death. I mean, there's one guy I'm ready to debate. He just put a whole show out, and I listened to him. I sent him a letter. He calls him the top mystic in the United States or the world, knowing about death. And he can't, and he said it himself, he can't get past the astral plane. The silver cord, which people don't talk about, they all have one. It keeps them in the lower world so that they don't get lost, or they can come back to the body that they've just left. But nobody wants to talk about that either. Oh, we're spiritual beings, we travel. You don't travel much at all. The astral plane is not considered traveling in my book. It's the next step out of hell. It's learning to let go of the passions which we are programmed to believe are important, which very few people can do. Attachment is what keeps you attached to your family, alive or dead. So with that, reincarnation is a key word, and it's going to force people to come back and back and back and back and back until they at least realize that's not where it has to be. It has to go a little bit further than that. Understanding soul is immortal is the first incredible relief, knowing you don't have to come back. It's the greatest gift if you're already aware. It doesn't happen to people unaware. All right. Here's many things for happy people. The things that keep people happy. Sex, number one. Drugs, number two. Sexual toys and things. Exciting toys, computer games, computer toys that men play with, flying drones and things like that. Cheap thrills, jumping off a mountain, hoping you don't die, jumping out of a plane, all those kind of things. Climbing a mountain, maybe you could fall off and die. Cheap thrills. Sports, which is the most overrated, overpaid sport in the United States. Movies, which entertain people. Some are good, and some are super bad. But there's a lot more bad ones being made than good ones. And very few of the good ones really help a person move forward in any way. But your search for truth has to be there. It has to be a desire that you want it. Not a whim or an idea. It has to be a complete desire. Do you desire it? Really? How much are you willing to put into it? The rest of your life? Okay, it's a desire now. 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. It's not a desire. It's a wish. And after a while, when your wish doesn't come true, you create another wish. Trying to make one that's going to come true. But the truth is, you have to want it, desire it. And once you attain that, you can start going towards it. Mankind has a great ability to focus on things that don't help spirituality. It doesn't help one unfold or grow spiritually. The truth is, there are many ways to experience things that truly can help you move forward. spiritually, not mentally, not delusionally, not wishful thinking. But what are those techniques? Well, meditation. Meditation, the way it's programmed and given to most people, is only a state of a, I won't give it the bliss state because you didn't attain the bliss state because you went into meditation, but you're attaining the state of lack of thinking, lack of thought, in a state of peaceful thinking of nothing. All right. Which can move into the bliss state, which isn't very high, but it's the next state that you can move into. Now, there's ways that I can give you, and there's ways out there to learn or see or practice that can help you get there. But who's telling you the right ways versus the wrong ways? How do you know this way is supposed to be right and that way is not supposed to be? Look at the people teaching it, telling it, or what they do. All right? You can focus on man's desires, which are, I already went through those things. Well, I want a car, I want a house, I want to be this, I want to be famous. All right? But does that sound like something spiritual? When they talk about any religious person, any spiritual person, they mention money, guess what? It has nothing to do with spiritual. Nothing. Space has nothing to do with spirituality. But the programmed ideas of the universe being part of spirituality is another programmed, stupid, ignorant idea. It's only part of the astral plane and the physical plane. The stars, the universes, the galaxies. It's all this glob, which is the lowest level that soul can go into. And that's why you're here, because you're starting to understand what you are. Hopefully. And probably takes a long time for you to do that. All right, the idea of soul being separated from the body is the first point of being aware of what soul is. If you never experienced that, how old are you? 10, 12, 15, 20, 50, 80? If you never experienced that, you need to. If you don't experience that before you die, you will not understand anything after you die. And you'll reincarnate and start all over. The awareness you need to attain is here and now. Not just being here and now, but what it means to be a soul here and now, and what it means that you are. All right, there's different lessons to learn at each level when you start unfolding, but we're starting at the simplest level. All right. Now, learning the difference from the physical reality and the astral reality is a step as well. Because people go into the astral plane because the silver cord lets them travel into there, travel around, fly around, and come back. But what do they learn? What do they tell you they learn? What do these people tell you about spirit? What do they explain to you about death? Oh, it's beautiful. Not beautiful in the astral plane. If you consider not having to eat, you can change your house, float around. It's more fun, more exciting. Another way to take your attention of moving forward. Because as long as you hold onto the physical body, you're not going to go anywhere spiritually. As long as that silver cord is connected to your astral body, you're not going to go anywhere spiritual. And when you're in the astral plane, as long as you're holding on to the physical reality, you're not going to go any further than that either. So saying in the astral plane and say, well, I'm going to watch my children grow and protect them. You're not a super being. You're not an angel because you died. What mentality or who created the idea within a person to believe that? Well, I mean, the only story that I can relate to is Miller Reaper was a man. When he died, he became a deity. A twisted story. Again, man has created it. A deity hasn't been coming to the planet in a physical reality in such a long time. They did in the beginning of religions and reality of the Hindu race and all that. They were playing with us, working with the human race. But there's always a reason why it stops. Why aren't the Egyptians here? Why are the Mayans almost pretty well taken away in a large number? Why the native people were taken away? Why I could go on. There's a couple of spiritual races, native races that were wiped out. But why? What race? The giants, why were they taken out? The little people took the giants out. I mean, even that was in the Bible. So how much do you want to believe, look up, or accept what some idiot says? Well, I operated on 2 million aliens. How many a day? 10 million, 10,000 a day? Uh, when a person says even 3,000, how long did that take? What kind of operation did you do on? Cut their heads off and throw their bodies away? Uh, reality and operation is usually a simple operation of my shoulder was 6 hours. So to say you did 3,000, 10,000, or any number close to it, really? I know there's a hypnotist that claims he did so many numbers, which meant he had to do like 10 a day. Oh, I mean, he must have really got into it and really helped the person. I did hypnosis from the time I was 14, and I could go and debate anybody on hypnosis because they're all liars, telling you they can't make you do anything, can't make you believe anything, and never mind feed you false information about who and what you were in other lifetimes. Well, he said it. He didn't say it. He's not saying anything. His inner protecting shield is hypnotized, and it allows anything to speak through it. He's an open microphone for entities and spirits. Think about that if you ever go to a hypnotist and want them to tell you about all your past lives. I do it a little different. I'm not like people that don't know God, don't know Jesus, don't know the true beings that exist in the inner worlds, the deities. You just can't say, I'm super spiritual and I could bring you into the inner worlds and guide you and protect. Why? What do you know? Who do you know? Nobody in there. You know an alien race? Oh, they're the great protectors? You know, the world has twisted and wormed and squirmed into these ridiculous, delusional ideas. I want to get into, I have a lot to get into again, and I'm not going to be able to, I don't want to take this too much longer. You want to believe about black holes, Big Bang, aliens, UFOs, go right ahead. It's not going to help you understand God at all. History just proves man is moving forward technically, but nothing to do with spirituality. Losing the desire for God to fill it with the universal idea of universe. Well, let's see. How far can I want to say a lot of things. Mankind has been killers since Atlantis went down. I mean, it came in, killed 50 million Native American people in 400 years. And they say they're spiritual at any level? Then they wiped out the Quakers. Then they tried to stamp out the witches. You know, how many tribes and people did they try to kill, take out, and remove? What do they expect aliens to teach us? How to eat, how to have sex, how to have fun? What can we teach them? All right. You have a race that believes it's okay to have sex with children. Are we going to allow them into the United States? Yes. Why? Because mankind's ignorant. One religion says virgins can't get married. Really? What is that woman supposed to do? Die? Just shoot her brains out? You know, society and religions have twisted God's word, spirit word, Jesus's words. And Moses was twisted to begin with. So where are we moving forward spiritually? I'll tell you straight out, you know, the only time I'll say it today, Jesus was the only spiritual being to come to this planet to teach about God. Only one. Nobody beyond, below, after, or around him was able to. All right, that's it for that idea. You get caught up with aliens and what they're doing and everything else. And they wiped out the Quakers. For what reason? I mean, you have a peaceful village, and I went up there, and it's all women now, senior old women, and they actually outlawed having sex because they didn't want men anymore. Just look at history. Go to the places and see how they live and why they would even be killed. Why the Egyptians were taken out. They were ignorant. They followed alien gods, created fake synthetic stories. They have no clue what reincarnation meant. They didn't. By what they did, proved it. Now, if you don't know truth, you can't balance the lies. How are you going to get the truth? You don't have to listen to me, but I'm telling you, this is the truth. Period. Oh, well, you're the only one on the planet. You know, Jesus came, spiritual people come and go, and they usually killed. I mean, I'm not dead yet, but do I consider myself a spiritual person? No, but I consider myself a person aware of the truth. by being around Jesus, by being around deities, by being around soul, being close to God, not here on planet Earth. You can't get close to God. It's all delusional mind thoughts and programs, especially when you mention the word love. God's not a loving being. You think it would create a world where it allows little children to get sexually abused as because it's a loving being? You think it had to allow us to be evil and negative because it's a loving being? Well, I love you so much, I'm going to let you kill and eat and rape and murder each other. Really? God's not what you perceive, but this isn't its realm where it dwells. It doesn't come down here ever. It won't, and it can't. It would destroy all the lower realities instantly. They would be burned and gone. Your vibrations are way too low to become across a vibrating thing that big. All right, I'm running out of time, and I want to do one thing before I go. If you never had an out-of-body experience, there's a lot of ways to do it. One of them is a little bit more dangerous, and when we were little, it was called putting out, where you have a person in back of you, you bend over and you breathe 30, 40 times, you hold your breath, and somebody squeezes you, and you pass out. It kills brain cells in your head. All right? But something incredible happens while it's happening. Now, what I'm going to tell you to do is a little bit more simple and a little more or less draining on the body, is go to a beach preferably, because you're going to fall down. Now, just so you know, a simple thing scientists, doctors, know-it-alls, hypnotists, and most psychics don't know. Two entities cannot stay in one body at the same time. I don't care what they tell you. It's a lie. It's not true. Any exorcism, anything, the soul steps out and the other one takes control of the body. All right. And they're not going to ever come to the conclusion of that because they don't want to. Now, why a soul steps out of the body? There's many reasons. Soul is aware, always. It's not like it's living in daydream world or fantasy world. It knows when an accident's going to happen. Why people said they were out of their bodies when their car got hit. Or people have an operation, they were out of their bodies. Soul steps out when the body is out of control. It makes sense. You're doing say 100 miles an hour, heading straight for a brick wall. And the only thing is to jump out of the car, right? You stay in the car and you're just squished. So soul steps out. Soul's going to watch the body get cremated because it's not the body and it's not the car. So whenever there's any kind of a disaster or situation to the body, soul steps out. Even when a person does drugs and the body gets out of control, soul steps out, something else steps in. Oh, I had this vision, I had this experience, I was the king of whatever, queen of whatever. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You can believe it. People can tell you you are. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. If your body is out of control, your soul will step out of it. Just as a plane falling down from the sky, coming down, right? And it's a small plane. The pilot ejects himself before it hits the ground. He doesn't stay in a plane. So why would soul do it? Oh, it's locked in? No, it's not. It steps into the body when it wants to, and it can step out when it wants to as well. The only reason why I'm going through this is because I'm going to give you a simple little thing. It's not going to change your world greatly, but it's going to put a spark in your reality. Go to the beach. Take off your shoes. And put your arms out and look like a T, the letter T, this way. Start spinning around counterclockwise. Spinning clockwise pulls energy in. Spinning around counterclockwise pushes energy out. Start spinning around. The only thing is you can't stop spinning. You're going to start getting dizzy. You're just going to start feeling sick. But don't stop spinning. Because you're going to get something that you never had if you didn't have it or are aware of it. The second your body's ready to fall to the ground, soul steps out of it. And it watches it fall down. It's right back in, but it for that 2 or 3 seconds, or could be even a little less, but it's that short of a frame, you will be able to experience that. And it's going to be a feeling left with you. Why children do it constantly. And they'll do it until they're sick. They'll go in something going around in the circles, and they'll do this and that. They say, "Oh, I'm so sick now," or throw up, whatever, because of that split second of being aware of themselves as soul. People don't talk about good things or things that really go on between children and spirit, because children are aware to spirit at many levels. And that's just one simple way they can force themselves to have that experience, no matter what. No matter what their mother's telling them, or their father's telling them, what their religion's telling them, or anybody else. This experience holds children to it for a long time. So it'll affect you, be adult or not. If you care about people looking at you, well, make sure there's no people watching. But if you don't care, just do it. Show that you have the courage to do it for yourself, to experience something. Sure, make sure you fall on the sand and don't get hurt and all that. But, when you put all the attention on everything else except what you're trying to do, you're going to lose the experience anyway. Just go like this and spin and spin and spin as fast as you can until you fall. And think about it. When you hit the ground, you're going to be, "Oh, what was that?" And you're going to see the separation. It's only a short thing, and nobody can stop you from doing it. And it actually happens. So think about that. The other way is 40 times. You hold your breath and somebody squeezes you. It's dramatic because it lasts a little bit longer, because you'll see that gap going between the two. Because as you're going unconscious, you're actually aware of it the whole time. So think about it. Oh, it kills your brain cells? Well, so do many other things, like putting your cell phone next to your head. And the new 5G will be destroying multiple brain cells in your head as well. So I'm not saying do this constantly. Doing it so that you at least had that one time where you said, "Oh, I experienced it for a second." That second can grow into the rest of your life. And hopefully it will. So with that, I can only give you truth as I know it, and a truth that can help set you free from the liars, the false speakers, the false preachers, false masters, the delusionary people around you, the drug addicts, and everybody else that are trying to brainwash you into seeing and thinking you're going to experience it something better. You have to understand yourself as soul before you worry about super outrageous galaxies of experience and anything else, or even aspects of God and things like that, which are way too early to even try to think about that now. No alien is going to teach you anything of what I just told you. So please, if you have any questions, want to get into anything, my name is Tommy Hawksblood. My email address is hawksblood1, HAWKSBLOOD1, AOL.com. Hawks is in plural. Blood is in your body, number 1. AOL.com. Thanks for listening. As far as anything else, I hope you got something out of this. I don't do this because I want to. I don't do this because I have to. I just do it because I feel it's the only thing I can do right now. Sorry, I wasn't reading the chat room. Aliens are not us. Well, the Pleiadians were or are us from the future. And they're here to make sure we don't destroy the present. That's why I talk about that a little bit. But past life regression is really important if you learn how to do it yourself. All right. And unless you have somebody spiritual, not, quote, documented, certified, because that doesn't help anything. How much can they talk to you about God? Can they talk to you about death? Can they talk to you about soul? Not we're all this, we're all universal, we're all God. No, please don't listen to one person that mentions we're all God. I mean, if we were all God, all right, we're living on a sick planet with a bunch of sick gods. So wake up, people. It's time to reflect on true reality of truth. All right. We're in the present moment. We got to be aware who or what we are. I don't plan on staying here for a long time. If you get anything from me, you'll be one of the few people that have ever did. Realize Jesus was here. Most of his disciples were killed. Most of his followers just dripped off the path. A few of his closest disciples traveled the world. Mary Magdalene was the most powerful woman to live on this planet, which she doesn't get credit for, but she traveled the world and taught Jesus' teachings to other countries. Thomas, also Jesus is one of his favorite disciples, traveled to India and taught in India in that time frame. So outside of that, Peter, Paul, John, all those, the whole Revelations was written by John, and his teachings, he never met Jesus physically. His was a vision. So how far do you want to take that? That's a different story. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, only 2 of them were Jesus's disciples. 2 of them were evangelists, meaning they weren't. And they were plagiarizing on Peter and Paul. So, the Bible's filled with so many lies, twisted stories, and what Jesus said is not in it. Isn't that amazing? What he taught is not in the Bible. With that, I'm letting you all go. Till next time, please, questions, answers, whatever, anytime. All right. Love, light, compassion, whatever you want. Thank you again. Till next time. Oh, and I shut my camera off. It didn't shut my show off. I'm really sorry about that. But till next time. Peace.